Hey, this is Alex with Grow How. Today we're going to talk more about lawn and yard chemicals. If you are sensitive and cannot handle discussing these things logically and rationally, please feel free to just tune out. It's not to force you on it, but we're going to talk about fertilizers and we're going to talk about chemical fertilizers. So there you have it. Catch you in a minute. Hey, this is Alex with Grow How. Today we are talking about fertilizers for your garden and for your yard. If you're interested in that, or in gardening in general, if you're interested in homesteading, if you're interested in cooking what you grow in your garden, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. I may even remember to put a link up there, but if you go down, you can hit that bell and you'll get notifications of when I post something, so you don't have to go, yeah, it's been 2 weeks since Alex talked to me, and find out I've got 4 posts or 4 videos posted. Be proactive. Anyway, so today we're talking about fertilizers. Now, in my day job, I work for a fertilization and pest control company. It was not what I was trying for. Things just kind of happened. And there's this unfortunate thing. I'm really good with the chemicals. I just understand how to use them. Now, when I talk about good with them, that doesn't mean that I'm really good at dumping them everywhere they need to be or don't need to be. It means I'm very good at understanding what I want to accomplish and how to get there. Now, I have considered in the past going on and doing a totally organic-based fertilization and lawn care company. I know there are others that do that, but I just haven't felt like there's a market big enough to sustain that. So I ended up in this company, and that's not a bad thing. But one of my goals has been to really evaluate what we're using and to make changes and refinements so that we are getting the absolute most optimum value out of everything we spread. In another video, I talked about pre-emergence. In this video, we're talking about the fertilizer itself. Now, there's a lot of different kinds of fertilizers. There's nitrates, there's nitrites, there's ammonium nitrate, there's urea, there's these days, in the last 10 years, they've come up with even more types of fertilizers to accomplish more things. But what I want to talk today is slow release versus quick release. And those are exactly what they say. If you're putting down a fertilizer, and most fertilizers, the main component is going to be nitrogen. So we're talking about nitrogen today. If you put down a fertilizer, some fertilizers like urea are going to be available to the plant almost instantly. If I were to go out in May and spray your lawn with urea, you'd probably see a green up in the next day, the next 24 hours. If it's a really bad day, maybe 48 hours, 2 days later, but you're going to see it really quick. Now, from my perspective, as somebody who does this professionally, that becomes an asset in a certain sense because customers like to see results or quickly after the provider leaves a note or an invoice on their door. It's kind of stressful because that quick release, a week later, has already started to wear off and all the newer stuff coming up gets less green. So it's a very quick pick-me-up. It's okay, you see me now, I'm here, but I'm going to be gone in a week. While it is good for business, because people like to see quick results, it's not necessarily going to be the best for the lawn. The best thing for the lawn is to put down something that creates an even level that releases over a longer period of time and keeps an even growth going. We even had some complaints last year about the grass growing too fast, slow down your fertilization, and that's kind of awkward. But again, for the health of the grass and for the strength of the grass, a slower green up is actually beneficial. But there's an optimum here. About the quick release. Now, you got the slower release, 2 weeks, and from 2 weeks it'll stretch out 6 to 8 weeks depending on the fertilizer you use, conditions, watering, temperature, yada, yada, yada. But there are a lot of fertilizers now that have combined. It's got a little bit of the quick release and more of the slow release. And this is probably the optimal, not just for a professional, but also for a homeowner, because in that 2 weeks while you're waiting for the fertilizer to release on a slow release, you're not getting anything to your lawn. Okay. But if you use a combination, you get something that gets in within the next day or two and will keep it green for a week or maybe 2 weeks. And then as that starts wearing off, your slow release starts kicking in, and that'll take you to the long-term go. A lot of recommendations are 1/4 quick release, 2/3, or excuse me, 3/4 slow release, or a quarter quick, or a third quick release to maybe 2/3 slow release. Optimal is getting that is a different matter, because you sit there and I'm trying to balance that out. Now, if you go to your local farm store, you're likely to see a good, relatively well-balanced program that I sort of like and I don't like. And those can be beneficial. You don't have to make some of these decisions or understand some of the deeper stuff. Or you can go to a reputable company. Now, of course, I think my company is reputable. There are companies I don't think are reputable. There's one very large one. It's owned by a company that does a lot of service stuff. Big national company. I can pretty well guarantee you're going to get the bare minimum of what you want from them. And how do you really find this out? Is you talk to them about their program. Come talk to me about my program. I haven't quite got it put together yet, but I can tell you, I'm going to use a pre-emergent. I'm going to work with slow release fertilizers as much as possible. I'm going to manage the amount of fertilizer so that it's not spreading beyond your property. Why would you pay for somebody to come and fertilize your lawn if it's going to run down the gutter? I wouldn't. I don't think you would either. So there's things to ask, or you can do it yourself, and any of those ways is fine. It's okay to go to the farm store and get their program and stuff, but even then, even though that's kind of, as far as it goes, the easy route for thinking it out, you still need to think more than that, because you need to be able to evaluate what they're giving you. A lot of those fertilizers are well thought out, but it may not be what your lawn needs. And you should become acquainted with that. And if you're getting a service provider, you should be acquainted with that. Again, look for the slow release. We'll talk a lot more about a lot of these lawn topics in the next year. I'm kind of immersed in it at work, so I have to think about it a lot, even though I'd rather think about, how's my rhubarb doing today, or how's the corn doing? Those are my things, but these are things that we all need to think about if we own property, or if we rent on property and maintain it, or even if we're not maintaining it. How many people out there in the HOA get frustrated with what happens with their lawns? I know my dad's place, oh gosh, the first year in his condo, they butchered the trees and they didn't take good care of the lawn, and it was just a mess. So you need to be able to think about this, or you're going to lose some money. So we'll catch you later. Happy New Year to you whenever this video runs. I hope you do have some good goals, and we'll catch you later. Manana.